Welcome everybody. Good to see you back. Hope everyone's well. Not too hot today. Really nice, actually. Beautiful day. We're going to continue our series here tonight of moving into formlessness and back into form, which is, after all, which is what we do. It's what everything does. So, kind of our job description here. So I'll be calling your attention quite a bit today to what my teachers refer to as the central axis or the central column. This can be visualized as kind of this transparent hollow column running from the center of the earth through the body, out the head and up into the night sky. And this is referred to in Chinese medicine, acupuncture and so on, as the central channel. In Shen Gong, which is what we're doing in spiritual Qigong, this channel extends beyond the body, down into the earth, into our ancestry and our ancestral Qi, that is to the origins of life, and infinitely up into the formless. So it goes up into space, but more than that, it's into a dimension of formlessness, of boundarylessness. In acupuncture, they're working with this column in the body and how energy is moving through it, and other ones too. There's a left or right channel and other channels. In Shen Gong, we're working with the whole system, the extension of this, working with this system, but also the extension of it. So this is, from this point of view, the central column is conscious. Okay, it's not just light. It's manifest as light, or we visualize it as light, which is a form of energy. But fundamentally, the central column, it's not only conscious, it's consciousness itself. And by that I mean, there's the Tao, there's this great awareness, which is beyond space and time, and the individuation of that awareness is consciousness, and that's what forms the mind and the body and the manifest realm. Thinking of this as consciousness, it is just truly just an extension of this system, or this system here is a part of a much bigger system. Okay, so that's sort of the theme for tonight. This is not news to most of you, because we've done this before, but in this one we're going to dive a little more deeply into that central column. So with all Qigong practices, tantric practices that involve the body, the mind will often go into visualization. You can, if you like, you can visualize this central column or central axis, which is not a thing, it's just an orientation. It's kind of like a laser beam. You can envision this in your mind and simultaneously feel it in the body. The feeling is actually more important than the visualization. And of course, when we're doing standing at the beginning, you can use your eyes, and your eyes can be just cast down, or they can be closed, but moving the eyes, if the eyes are looking down, the attention is going down inside the body. And if the eyes are looking up, the attention is going up, this central column up, up above the body and anywhere in between. And when we do these movements, where we move the hands are giving even more focus to the attention. And likewise, the breath. So the in-breath is coming down into form. And we can think of the first in-breath of a newborn baby is coming into form. So our attention naturally comes into the body. And then the out-breath is expanding out from the form, or releasing the form, moving out of form and into boundlessness or space. So when we're standing, we can really come quite quickly into this meditation using the eyes. So the eyes, in the in-breath, the eyes will go down. Out breath, the eyes will go up. And so we can breathe through the top of the head. We can breathe through the perineum. And you were all here when we did the class on opposites. So of course you can do this opposite too. You can go up when you look down. You can go down when you look up. And you can fill up with the out breath. And you can expand with the in breath. It doesn't matter as long as you're coordinating these rhythms. So that each breath and the posture accentuates the verticality or the column, brings more attention to it. And a column is sometimes compared to a big stem of bamboo that may have those little screens in it at the joints. Those would be the dantians. And then moving the energy dissolves those and just makes for a clear channel. So a whole lot can be going on right now, even though the body is just still. We're just standing. Okay, now this will come up later, so I want to touch it now. So the lower dantian, middle dantian, and the upper dantian in the forehead or in the brain. So just working with these three. So if you can sort of visualize light or sphere of light or something and feel in each one. Okay, now let's, using the breath, let's bring some energy down from the upper dantian and up from the lower dantian into the middle dantian. So like this. So we're bringing down and we're bringing up at the same time. And you can extend this if you like. So bring down from the universe down through the head to the heart. And at the same time, bringing up from the earth through the dantian, lower dantian, and into the heart. So just practice a little, just doing both at once. So it's yin is up, yang is down. So it's melding these together. And the upper is in the teachings is white, and the lower is red, and they come together and they form the Taiji symbol, the yin and yang symbol, red and white. It's usually black and white, but originally it was red and white. And then that symbol is dynamic, so it's moving. So keep in mind, we're not creating something that's pink. We're not bringing white from above and red below and melting them, making pink. We're making a dynamic red and white movement. Okay, so we'll come back to that later. Okay, so let's begin by bowing to the directions. So to the north, and to the east, south, and west. Above, so just bring to mind the column here. Below. So when we're in touch here with the middle dantian and the lower dantian, we're also in touch, because they're conscious, we're also in touch with the earth, the head, the brain, and then all the way up into the universe. We're focusing on these two, and at the same time, it's all here. So true embodiment is awareness of the body and beyond the body. Extension of the senses. So okay, let's do some trembling mountain. This is a really good practice nowadays when there's this kind of constant low hum of anxiety, not only in each of us, but in the whole world. It just releases all of that. It's just, the motion here is up and down. So it actually, the awareness of this central column can still be present. Because we're moving up and down in relation to it. So it's sort of, constant because we're upright. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay. Let's go ahead and stretch out the neck and shoulders. Okay, and then moving down into the middle dantian. Coordinate with the breath either way, out breath, in breath. Let's just do 2 more. Okay, and let's do this this exercise here. Tricia, you used to call this pulling taffy. So just sensing, imagining connection between the hands. And chi is not in any way mysterious. It's just ever present. And the ability to feel beyond the body is also natural. So whatever you feel here, is good. And then let's go outward. And can you feel this in the body, inside the body, as you're doing this? Okay. And now let's extend up and down. Okay, and then feel this in the body, central channel in the body. And switch hands. Does it feel the same or a little different? Okay. And tree and spring. Do 3. Okay, and then backwash. Let's come back up. Okay, let's pause for a moment. Now, people will say, well, what happens with the central axis when we're bent over or when we're lying down? And the one way to understand this is this column just expands, and then we're within the column. If we're bent over, if we're lying down, doesn't matter. We're bending the spine, but the verticality it remains. Okay, so you can just imagine it just still being there. But if you're bending down, then you just let it expand, and then you're within it. So everything you do is within this. Okay, so tree and spring 3 times. And backwash again. Okay. Okay, let's go into the morning routine. We won't do a lot of repetitions of it, but this is the classic for the central column. So first one, so Earth's fragrance drifts up. The eyes are looking inward, following the hands. Okay, one more. Okay, sunrise on the horizon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more. 1, 2, 3, 4. And parting the clouds. Hands, elbows, look up at the very top. The arms, the hand switch. So parting the clouds, look up. So this enlivens the central column from above. When you part the clouds, feel, you can look with your eyes downward, feel that coming down through the body. Okay, one more. Okay, so now we imbue the physical body with the rainbow light. So washing the body with rainbow dew. One side. Don't worry about doing this right. It's just bringing up the energy of spring, the dew, onto the body. Okay, let's do one more on each side. Okay, and then flipping away the fog, a little bit or a lot, whatever feels right. It's just a little break. And now gathering qi to the dantians. So we'll do a backwash and gather 4 times from the earth. One. This fills the belly. Okay, central column is there. This is coming up inside the central column. The hands are kind of pantomiming this. It's coming up inside in the body, into the belly. Okay, one more. Okay, and now 3 times, refining the chi, so bringing it up to the heart. Two. This is happening inside the body, not in front of the body. Okay. And now, touching heaven, touching earth. So, this lights up the upper dantian, and then by extension, way up and way down. This is inside the body. Okay, and coming back. And this is just what we did, bringing down and up at the same time. Okay, embracing all that is. Okay, and switch hands. So we're going to go up and down at the same time. Okay, and now up and down at the same time again, bringing this in. Okay, not mixing, but combining. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, so this next teaching is an esoteric teaching. Keep in mind that this teaching it's a map. It's not the territory. It's a metaphor. It's not reality. It's a construction of the mind. Okay. And so the idea here is the way to understand this. It's as if there's a huge jellyfish, okay, gigantic. And now let's touch heaven, touch earth. The jellyfish is huge and vast, as big as the sky, and it has many tentacles. This central column is one of the tentacles. Okay, so it's hollow, and information goes both ways. So everything that we experience, and come back to the heart, everything we're experiencing here through our senses and through our mind is instantly flowing up into the jellyfish. And many, many other tentacles are giving input too. And then, switch hands, information comes into the mind from this this bigger consciousness. Okay, so it comes in, the mind receives it. Okay, and so there's this constant give and take, moving up this column and down this column so rapidly that it just feels like this constant beam of energy. That's our life force energy. So at death, this tentacle dissolves and all of this goes up into the main body. And then at birth, another one comes down. And so this entire realm of space and time and mind and senses is intimately connected to this boundless awareness. Okay? Okay, so let's go back to standing. Okay, and if you would, just either close your eyes or look down and just notice how you know there's a body here, aside from your memory. Your experience of the body right now is sensory. You can feel it. Okay, what is the nature of that sensation? Is it tingling? Is it warm? Pain and pleasure? Constantly changing? It's the nature of the sensate body. So just as we can sense the sense of touch, the body then is not just an object. It's a constant, vibrating, energetic presence. Okay, can you feel that? And the energy is conscious. So that means, as we dip the knees again, we can send our consciousness, our attention, look up and send it up and within the body. And we can sense the tingling beyond the body, sense the extension of your hands, extension of your mind, way up. That way up there, that is tingling and alive also. It's a continuum. Okay, and so come down, bring the eyes down. The body's tingling, body's alive. Down into the earth, extend down in. And this maybe this is more of a bass rather than a soprano, but there's also a vibration there. And there's this whole continuum vibratory awareness. Okay, so let's go up again. So up, point to the body, up, inside the body. So it gets more refined as it goes up. And when it exits, when it leaves, it's very fine. It's light. And at the very apex, the light dissolves into darkness. Okay. Okay, now let's go ahead and take our seat. Okay, so this is an esoteric tantric practice of Taoism and of the Tibetans. So the first is to come into an awareness of the central channel. So your eyes are closed and they're cast inward. They're flipped around. They're looking in. And you can look down in the body and up. And there's this aliveness. And this is in the energetic quality. And so let's drop our attention down onto the earth. Okay, and in breath, coming up, and like we did, bringing the chi of the earth up into the belly, the lower dantian. So the belly is filled with this light. And it expands with the in-breath, contracts with the out-breath. Okay, now at the center of this, of the dantian, at the center of this light, there's a small ruby red sphere, like a seed of some kind, that's just there. Okay, and then the chi is alive around it. Okay. Okay, now let's leave that. Bring the eyes up the inside of the body and looking out the top of the head. So we'll breathe in. You breathe in the chi, the light of the stars. Breathe that down into the upper dantian, to the brain. And let it expand and contract with the breath a little bit. And the lower dantian is doing the same. This is in the body. Okay, now at the center of the chi in the head, there's a pearl. There's a very white, brilliant white seed. And there's the red one down in the lower dantian. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bring the upper one, the white one, down. We're going to bring the lower one, the red one, up. And this is not in imagination, this is in the body. And they're going to form into a unity in the heart. Okay, so ready? So it would be on the next in-breath, make a deeper in-breath and go down and up at the same time. Ready? When you're ready. You know, the combination of the red and white causes it to spin. And the spinning kind of causes it to flash. So it's sort of this red, white, red, white, red, white. Okay, and so on the next out breath, let's go ahead and separate them again back where they were. Extend the out breath. You're going to do this 3 times. So the next one, when you're ready, on the in breath, repeat. Now there may be sensations anywhere in this column. And the next out breath, separate again. Okay, and the third time, we're going to repeat. And the white and red are going to transform into a silver seed. So ready? When you're ready, take a deep in breath. And so this silver seed, this is called the cosmic embryo. And you can feel it, you can be aware of it all throughout this column. Okay, now the next one is we'll take a deep breath, and on the out breath, we're going to shoot the silver seed straight up the central column, all the way up, and combining with the primordial white light that's far above. So ready? So it'll be on the out breath, it'll be a long out breath when you're ready. Okay, now take the view of that perspective. So the body is way, way, way down there. Okay, and so when you're ready on the next out breath, just release that all and then just return to sitting. Okay, so that was an event, and it can be repeated many, many times. So it's not just that there's one. So this practice is called Phowa. And this, one of the reasons this is taught is for the moment of death. So the cosmic embryo is returned to the light, and you go with it because you are it. And then the body dissolves, the tentacle dissolves, and then it all cycles again. You can do this practice yourself, as you just did, and you can do it with or for somebody else. So in the tantric teachings, it's what we want is for that to go out the top of the head and up into the primordial light. And that's what this practice is for. Let's take a few more breaths. And maybe come back into awareness of this verticality. And be aware that this exists in a field. All of this, all forms, even the central column is a form. All exist in this boundless field. Okay, let's take a few more breaths. Okay, so these are esoteric, these are hidden practices, esoteric practices. They're no longer hidden. I would advise you to be careful who you share this with. That's all. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying be careful who you share it with and when and where you share it. But you know, you guys have been with this for quite a long time, and we've gone a lot of places together, and so I felt it was appropriate because we've been really doing this every single time. It's just that this was the specific one with the white, the red, the silver. But we've been working with this central channel and moving energy up and down it every single time. So it really isn't new. Okay? All right, so let's clap our hands and do our closing. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, Any questions or comments about that, or anything else? Anything else we've done?
How important is the actual physical movement of the eyes up and down? Because for some reason I find the physical sensation of moving my eyes very distracting.
Okay, don't do it.
Where I can visualize that
Yeah.
internally, which is using the mind, but
no, so that doesn't work for you, you know, and you know, certain things will work for certain people, and you know, a lot of people don't visualize. There's something like 20% of the population, maybe one of us here, don't visualize well, and that's fine. You just feel it, because the feeling is more important. Other people have wild imaginations and can visualize all this stuff really easily. But visualizing it and actually having it occur in the body, having attention in the body, is what's important, because you can daydream this stuff. You can imagine this happening somewhere else or to someone else or whatever. And that's not the practice. The practice is, and in order for it to be embodied, it has to be sensate. So you have to feel it. You know, it's just the visualizing just sort of, I think, helps us feel it sometimes, some of us. It helps me, and the eyes are very helpful to me, but maybe not to you. So yeah, don't do it. Good question. I haven't heard that. That's great. Yeah.
I had an odd, well, something that happened when we were first standing up and, you know, sending things upward. My feet just felt absolutely glued to the ground. I mean, and in a really, like, if I didn't think to try to do this, but like, I don't think they would have moved. And that was such a contrast to this.
Yeah.
So,
Bonnie, do you remember Ed Selnicker? Did you know Ed Selnicker?
Yeah.
So Ed is an old friend of mine. He was a snowflower of long, and he was a Taoist practitioner. Ed must be in his late 70s, and he was a Taoist practitioner 60 years ago. I mean, so, and he told me he had this teacher. He was in the Peace Corps, and part of that, he was traveling around Asia, and this would have been back in the 60s. And he met a teacher who became his Tai Chi teacher. The teacher was probably doing something like what we were doing. And he did it with himself, and he said, okay, now I'm grounded, now move me. And Ed's a big guy, bigger than me. He could not move that small man. He could not lift him up off the ground because he was rooted in the ground. And then, so he gave up, and then he said, okay, now do it. And he went up, and Ed just effortlessly lifted him up. So, and Ed's not a liar. Yeah, I have every reason to believe that's true. And that's not the only source of that. I've heard that similar stories, and I've actually experienced something like that with a master. I can't do that, I don't think, but yeah, that's real.
Well, it felt, and some of this is my own mind, it felt like wrong. I'm not doing this right because my feet are like, because they're supposed to,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's great. That's interesting. I think you're the first person I think who's told me that since Ed.
Huh.
And you just spontaneously, I've seen it. I've seen Chi masters move people, and I have been moved by one. And this is just kind of fun and games, it's neither here nor there, but it really is true.
Stephen, Cassandra.
Yeah.
And this was beautiful, first of all. was quite amazing. So when we were moving into that octopus tentacle,
Oh,
yeah, my body sort of turned into points of light, and I didn't freak out. I just enjoyed it, and it stayed like that until we came back down. And then I could feel, my hands started sort of, and feet started coming back into
sure.
more form.
Hmm. Yeah.
And it was quite
So,
amazing. It's
so
still the presence of light.
you could feel it, but you could see it too,
Yes.
because it was light. Interesting.
Yeah. So
It's kind of a crude metaphor, but I think it's not bad. I mean, you know, kind of as an entry level, you know, that it's a living thing, and you know that's just one of the jellyfish. There's like a gazillion of them, you know, and so it's just these stages of connection. Don't get stuck with it. And you already made it into an octopus, and that's great, you know. So yeah, let it be whatever it is. It's clunky, but I think it's kind of interesting.
cool.
Okay. Anything else?
I really love the suggestion when you said just turn your eyeballs around. I've never done that. And it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Really amazing.
Yeah, and you can focus on different level. So I'm asking you to focus on the energetic, you know, moving the energy, and that's one thing. You can see the organs and everything, and that sounds really weird, but like my daughter was a psychic healer. She was a chi healer for many years. She worked for group health, and she could see a person's internal organs with her hands. She could see that. So I'm not looking for that, you know. I mean, sometimes that happens to me. I look inside and oh, there's the heart, and so that's not kind of what I'm doing. But yeah, it's very powerful practice.
Yeah, for me, I was focused more just on my head. You know, but before I could sort of visualize like going up the central channel, and it was more like visualizing. But when I turned my eyes around, I felt like I could actually like see all inside the back of my head, where I had never looked before. So it was pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and you know, when we do the microcosmic orbit, where we're going up the back and down the front, you know, that's really a classic exercise. And you're actually looking at the inside of the spine, inside of the skull, and then the inside of the face, and you're actually looking, you know, inside, and that's what really moves the chi in the body.
Do you turn your eyeballs when you're doing that?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, not really.
All right, I'm gonna try.
That's the idea. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. But Todd wouldn't do that. I mean, for some people, yeah. For other people, no.
And for some reason, I mean, I'm really good at visualizing a lot of stuff, but for some reason, the internal stuff can sometimes be difficult. When we do the microcosmic orbit, I can quite easily, you know, come up the inside of the backbone and down the front. But maybe it's just more a language thing of like turning my eyeballs around.
It is a language thing. Yeah.
I'll have to play with it because maybe I'm psyching myself out with it or something.
It's fine. You know.
I think it is a language thing, and yet just by imagining that I was doing it, I was able to actually like see things for the first time. It was pretty great.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, you know, I was looking at one of these on YouTube, and I just wanted to make it clear. I have a dislocated shoulder. If you ever look, and I don't look really symmetrical. I don't know if you've ever noticed that about me, but I'm not really doing it. You're supposed to really be symmetrical when you're doing these, and you're relaxed in your body. And you know, this shoulder is permanently separated. So if you notice that and you say, no, it looks like he's not really doing that. That's why. I'm doing the best I can, but I can't, because it was really bothering me. I was looking at myself and saying, that guy is really out of whack. I mean, his body is all messed up, you know. So, and I am. So, but I don't know if anyone saw that or not, but I did. Okay. Anything else? I mean, this is great. I'm really glad, you know, you're along, you know, and you keep coming back, because this really feels progressive to me. You know, like we're building on this, and I don't know if I would have taught Phowa at the Taiji Center. Maybe I would have if it was the same group, but if there was a new person in there or a couple of them, I don't think I would have done this. But I feel really confident with you folks, you know, and with the others who aren't here. You know, some people just watch it on YouTube, yeah, which is fine.
Stephen, can you spell it? The Phowa,